the night Linda met the bunker. At 2:34 a.m., my phone erupted with a piercing alert from the garage security system, yanking me out of a dead sleep. Bleary-eyed, I fumbled for the screen and tapped the live feed. What I saw snapped me awake faster than a triple espresso. There, slinking under the half-open garage door in a lime-green sweatshirt, a ski mask, and mismatched oven mittens, was Linda, the self-crowned czar of our neighborhood homeowners association. She clutched a flashlight between her teeth, a crowbar in one hand, and a look of righteous fury that screamed she was on a holy quest. She was headed straight for my custom off-road buggy, muttering, "At last, I'm taking back what's mine." I couldn't decide whether to call the cops, grab a snack, or just watch the show. This wasn't a simple break-in. It was a suburban melodrama starring Linda as the vigilante and my garage as her battlefield. What she didn't know was that my garage was a fortress rigged with 360-degree cameras, motion sensors, and a facial recognition lock that could outsmart a bank vault. Her face had already been scanned, logged, and rejected the second she stepped inside. I hit record, leaned back, and whispered, "Let's see how this plays out." Let's back up. Linda wasn't just a nosy neighbor. She was a one-woman reign of terror. Since moving into Oak Ridge Estates 3 years ago, she declared herself the enforcer of rules real or invented. She'd slap fake fines on cars parked an inch off-center, lecture kids for skateboarding, and once tried to ban holiday lights for being too festive. As HOA president, she wielded her gavel like a scepter, turning our quiet cul-de-sac into her fiefdom. Her latest obsession? My sleek, black off-road buggy, a beast I'd bought legally from a guy in the next county, complete with title and receipts. Linda, however, was convinced it belonged to her late uncle, who'd owned a similar buggy before passing 2 years prior. She claimed he'd willed it to her, despite zero proof. When I showed her my paperwork, she called it forged and vowed to reclaim her birthright. Her tactics started small notes taped to my door demanding I return the stolen buggy, but when I ignored her, she went full rogue. Now, here she was, creeping through my garage like a bargain bin burglar, unaware she'd triggered what I call the Sentinel Protocol. I'm a cybersecurity consultant for corporate clients, and my garage doubles as a testing ground for cutting-edge tech. Think biometric locks, AI-driven cameras, and a system that could lock down tighter than Fort Knox. Linda wasn't just breaking into a garage. She was stumbling into a high-tech trap. As she climbed onto the buggy and jabbed the ignition, the dashboard flashed red. A calm, robotic voice announced, "Unauthorized user detected. Access denied." She froze, then mashed the button again. "System locked," the voice repeated. Suddenly, the garage lights flipped to red strobes, the door slammed shut, and the speakers blared. Intruder containment activated. Linda's bravado crumbled. She screamed, "I'm trapped. This is kidnapping," which might have worked if the cameras hadn't caught her crowbar in action. I streamed the feed to a private chat group of fellow techies, and the comments rolled in. "Is this a heist or a comedy skit? She's praying to start that buggy." Linda, now in full panic, yanked off her sweatshirt, tripped over a paint can, and crashed into a tool rack, sending wrenches flying. The chat exploded with laughter. 5 minutes later, my system auto-dialed the sheriff's department. Linda tried prying the door open, but the voice warned, "Unauthorized egress detected." Authorities dispatched. When deputies arrived, I met them in my driveway sweats, hoodie, coffee mug in hand. I unlocked the garage remotely, and they found Linda slumped on a crate, muttering about injustice. She pointed at the buggy, sobbing, "That's my uncle's. He promised it to me." I handed over my purchase documents. The deputy glanced at them, then at her. "Ma'am, you broke into a private residence." Linda waved her uncle's obituary like a flag. "It's all here." The deputy sighed. "That's not proof. You'd think that would have ended it." But Linda didn't retreat, she escalated. By noon, an HOA notice hit my inbox, accusing me of improper vehicle storage and fining me $150. The next day, a second notice, taped to my door in red, upped the fine to $300 and demanded a hearing. Linda, it turned out, had rallied her HOA cronies to claim my buggy's aggressive design violated neighborhood aesthetics. Worse, she'd been spreading rumors, telling neighbors I'd swindled a dying man for the buggy and booby-trapped my garage to target her. Some neighbors bought her story, giving me cold stares, but others weren't fooled. A note slipped under my mat read, "Linda's nuts. We've got your back." I called my old friend Greg, a property lawyer with a knack for dismantling bullies. I sent him the footage, receipts, and HOA notices. He called back, chuckling. This is a slam dunk, but she's unhinged. Let's play smart. We drafted a letter to the HOA, warning that false claims could spark a lawsuit. Linda doubled down, citing an obscure bylaw about visual harmony and claiming my buggy's red decals caused resident distress. She even held a front yard HOA meeting, waving blurry photos of my garage and ranting about tech tyranny. But cracks were forming. A guy named Ethan messaged me online, introducing himself as Linda's estranged nephew, son of the uncle she claimed left her the buggy. My dad hated her, he wrote. He sold that buggy to keep it out of her hands. I helped him list it. He sent screenshots of the sale, plus a notarized estate document confirming Linda had no claim. Greg nearly shouted, "This is gold." The HOA's oversight committee, dormant for years, finally stepped in after multiple resident complaints. At the hearing, Linda rolled in with a cart of binders and a fake neck brace, claiming my garage was a surveillance hub and I was recruiting kids with buggy rides. Greg played the break-in footage, system logs, and Ethan's documents. The committee chair, a retired judge named Walt, cut Linda off. This is a property dispute, not a conspiracy. They voided my fines, ordered an apology, and stripped Linda of unilateral HOA powers. Outside, neighbors whispered as Linda clutched her brace, stunned. But Linda didn't quit. She launched a neighborhood safety coalition, patrolling in a yellow vest with a walkie-talkie, eyeing houses suspiciously. Greg, with Ethan's blessing, filed a cease and desist for defamation and theft, including an 80-page dossier of evidence. Linda was served mid-rally, her face crumpling as she screamed about forgeries. Then came the HOA election. Linda ran again, sporting a sash reading "President Forever." A calm retiree, Ellen, ran against her, promising peace. Ellen won in a landslide. Neighbors cheered, and Linda's mic was cut mid-tantrum. An HOA audit uncovered $9,000 in misspent funds, including payments to Linda's cousin for consulting, aka mowing her lawn. The county launched an inquiry, as Linda had signed off on falsified reports. Her allies quit the board, one even apologizing to me. Linda sold her house and left, but not before mailing me a letter, claiming my tech was psychological warfare. She vowed to sue for digital defamation. Greg advised silence, so I filed it away. To close the chapter, I threw a garage party, showing off the security system. Ethan came, toasting his dad beside the buggy, now dubbed Truth Rider. The buggy later starred in a tech museum exhibit, The Street That Stood Up, with its access denied audio on loop. Ellen's HOA restored calm block parties returned, kids drew chalk art, and peace reigned. My garage became the bunker, a local legend. One night, as I locked up, the system hummed, lights dimmed, and I smiled. Linda hadn't just lost a buggy, she'd lost her empire to truth, tech, and a neighborhood done with her games. What do you think? Have you ever faced someone like Linda, using power to bully or bend the truth? Share your stories in the comments. Let's talk about standing up to injustice and where you draw the line on fighting back. Your voice matters, so weigh in.